Ladies and gentlemen, baby, are you ready to see the most athletic guitar stream ever existed? Are you? Oh, baby. Buckle up, because we are about to begin. Woo! All the night, the devil's in the detail. Oh, the night. That's right. Alibi. Ladies, gentlemen, alibi. Look at me. Playing with the monsters. Why? Look at me. Again, I need to tell you this. The name is Mr. Sorenzo. Welcome to the Guitar Angle, the most athletic guitar stream ever created on this planet Earth. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday. I don't know where you are in the world. Do I? I don't. Happy weekend is what I'm trying to say, because baby, I am in the mood today. I am so in the mood today. And the reason for that is because we got an awesome docket on the stream for you, fellow guitar player who is athletic, who likes electric guitars that don't have holes in them, or any guitar that has holes in them. We don't like holes in the guitars, okay? Holes belong to somewhere else, to something else, someone else, okay? We don't do that. We don't do holes in the guitar world. We do holes somewhere else, okay? I can't make it any more clear than this. Like, I don't think it's possible. I mean, what else do I have to tell you to get you going? To bring up the athleticism out and get you on board on the same page as me. What? What else? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, baby. That's what I'm talking about! Oh, baby, baby, baby! Woo! All right, let us talk about our first item on the docket. Let's talk about the first and second and third and fourth items on the docket today. Guys, it's going to be a fun stream today. So first, Gibson revives two new, well-loved Les Paul Jr. models. And we're going to talk about those today. Next, Cesar Guaycan, the CEO of Gibson, signaled a very interesting release, and we're going to talk about that. Then we are going to go to a trip to Black Friday sales, and this particular guitar that I'm not going to mention which guitar it is right now, you got to wait and see. That guitar smokes everybody yet again for like, I don't know how manyth year in a row, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. They did it again. Then we're going to talk about Johnny Marr and his new limited edition Fender signature guitar. And then lastly, we're going to talk about a little bit of a, I don't know how to call it. It's like a poaching mentality of a bunch of guitar collectioners. One specific. We're going to talk about that. And then somewhere in the stream, I am going to address the controversy that I have caused. And we're going to address that. I made a post about it yesterday. We're going to address that on the stream today, okay? We're going to do that. So with that said, let us get the party started. Let us get the party started, shall we? I'm going to play something a little bit more mellow, okay? I'm going to play something a bit more mellow. Now, what I need you guys to do on Twitch and YouTube is to tell me how the sound quality is right now. Can you guys hear the background music? Is it too loud? Can I get a sound check confirmation on Twitch or YouTube, please? Please and thank you. All right. Let us get started, shall we? So, let me start sharing my screen. Gibson. I like to call them Gibby sometimes, but it's just for me, not for you guys. Gibson revives two well-loved student models from the 50s, the Les Paul Jr. Double Cut and Les Paul Special Double Cut Jr. But two old school guitars, P90s, and Les Paul Jr. is pretty popular, I would say, and this is just a double cut version of that for those who don't know. Very, very simple design. Very, very interesting. Very, I gotta say, it's very interesting what they've done with these guitars. I'm not gonna lie. So, let's talk about them. And then we're gonna check out the specs together. So, Gibson announced the return of two legendary solid body models. The Les Paul Jr. Double Cut, Les Paul Special Double Cut. They were first released in the 50s. And they got that P90 sound going on for them, like we talked about. Now, the Les Paul Jr. Double Cut, right, it was as a no-frill student's model. So basically like an affordable version of the normal Les Paul, right? But like I said earlier on, because it was such a simple, design in the guitar, stripped down simplicity basically, and it turned out to be a really versatile guitar. It really got a lot of fans there. And then obviously you have a thinner mahogany neck comparing to that chunky, old school sort of Gibson Les Paul necks, and then sort of all of that coming together really, made it like a special guitar when it came out. And people love it. People love it for that, basically. So let's talk about it. This is the Junior. So again, one P90 in the neck position, one volume and tone knob. Obviously, you don't need the pickup selector anymore. One rat for the electronics. It's just so simple, elegant, easy to deal with. It comes in 3 different colors. You got the vintage cherry, you got the ebony, and then you got the TV yellow. I personally like the yellow, believe it or not, for some reason. I really like the guitar, the color of the guitar. Now, here are some fun things about it. Let's talk about the specs, shall we? So, double cut mahogany body, rosewood fretboard with 22 medium jumbo frets. You got the Gibson vintage tuners. Comes with a hard shell case. We like that. Mahogany neck with a slim taper profile. Guys, slim taper profile is basically thinner neck. It's a fancy word to say thinner necks. Wraparound bridge tailpiece. So if you have a look here, the strings are not inserted from this side of the bridge. They're inserted from this side and they wrap around the bridge. And the reason some people like it is because they believe that it gives a better resonance to the guitar. They basically think that it's a better string to guitar connection. In my opinion, if there are any differences at all, hardly anybody can hear. I don't think anyone can ever hear it. So whatever works, right? The thing is, right, with a guitar like this, because the design is just so simple and so straightforward, so you got a fixed bridge, doesn't matter what kind of fixed bridge, just a minimalistic fixed bridge. You don't have too many electronics, just one pickup, just one volume and knob. Because of that simplicity and minimal electronics in the guitar, you can get a really nice raw tone out of this particular guitar, if you guys know what I mean. Like, there are no extra capacitance and resistance and all that stuff that impacts your guitar tone out, right? It's really nice and simple. So the tone that you can get out of it is very clear. I got another guitar at home that I'm going to talk about today, which is an Epiphone, and we talk about it a little later on the stream, and it has exactly the same thing, and one of the reasons I liked it was that. And there were other reasons that I didn't like it, and we're going to talk about it. It's that controversy that I told you about, but you get the idea. So, let's talk about this now. Body finish is a gloss nitrocellulose lacquer. Now, this is actually pretty good, so we like that. This is like high quality stuff. The reason a lot of people get excited about nitrocellulose is, number one, nitrocellulose doesn't dampen the resonance of your guitar when it's applied to it, right? So basically a finish is a layer of chemical material that is applied over the body and the neck of your guitar, right? And so if you got a guitar and your grain, the wood grains in the guitar like vibrates and resonate, if you put something on it, it dampens that, right? So nitrocellulose doesn't really do that. Another fun fact about nitrocellulose is that when when people apply finish on the guitar, it's not just one layer. You apply a layer, you spray it basically, and then you let it dry, and then leave it for a day, and then you come back and do another one, and then leave it for a day. So you do that process like a few times. The thing about one of the advantages of nitrocellulose is that the layers of finish that you've applied melt into each other and become one. So it doesn't stack up these layers on top of each other. They sort of blend into each other. They melt into each other, which gives your finish a really good consistency, and that's a good thing, right? So that's the first fun fact about nitrocellulose. And then the second one is that nitrocellulose, as it ages, it just a teeny tiny bit, it yellows out, and it gives your guitar, like, it makes your guitar look like it has aged, if you know what I mean. And so that's another thing. That's another reason why people really like nitrocellulose finishes. because it just makes your guitar look like it's aging as your guitar is aging, as opposed to like other types of finishes that they don't. And so that's another reason why a lot of people like nitrocellulose. My thing for it, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind if my guitar looks like it's getting older or not, because like if you play the guitar, it's gonna impact your guitar anyways. You're gonna you're gonna have some wear and tear on the guitar eventually. But the idea that, if it's applied correctly, it doesn't dampen the resonance of your guitar, so that all the brightness that you're looking for, doesn't turn into muddiness and muffledness. That's what I personally really like about it. Yeah. Look who's here, Zuhair. Evening. How you doing? How you doing, my guy? Missed you in the last stream. We had another stream on Thursday. Missed you there. How you doing? So, that was the finish, right? And then body material is mahogany. Not a surprise. Again, guys, when we say mahogany, bear in mind that there are more than 100 different strains of mahogany, and almost none of them are the true real mahogany, which is the Cuban mahogany, or its sister, the Honduran mahogany from Honduras, right? So this can be anything. So when they, for example, say African mahogany, Filipino mahogany, all these other mahoganies, they're not the real true mahogany. They're not in the same genetic tree, right? They're not in this, the genome is different, right? So that, just bear in mind. Next specs, what do we have here? You have 12-inch fretboard radius. That's much better than 10 or 9 or 7 and 8. Medium jumbo frets. Set neck, not a surprise. Graphtec nut, again, not a surprise. Slim taper profile, we talked about it. The only thing I think that is a consideration for me is that the nut width is going above and beyond 43 mils, and that's like, usually when it goes, and it's not much, it's like, I don't know, 0.05 millimeters, right? So it's really not much, it's basically 43, but it shouldn't go over 43. We don't like that when it goes over 43. And obviously 24/7 5-inch scale length, which is classic for Gibsons. Electronics really simple, come with P90s, we talked about it. And I don't think there's not much to really talk about this particular guitar, other than the fact that it includes the Gibson accessory kits, and it comes with 1046 strings. So I think it's a great thing that they revived it. Ultimately, I think part of it is the market pressure. Economy in most countries is not doing that crazily great, and people still don't have money after COVID, and tariffs and everything. So at some point, you're going to bring back the old school, less expensive stuff out there for people to buy it. And I think that's in a big part, the reason why Gibson is reviving these two junior models. Yeah. Zuhair says, good. I'm well. I asked Zuhair how is he doing. He said, good. Came back from work and ate rice and fried fish. Ooh, nice. I saw you live last Thursday, but I was at work. Ah, okay. Okay, so you couldn't chat. All right, good to see you, dude. How was the fish? What kind of fish did you have? I had fish yesterday too. Yeah. I had fish yesterday. Mrs. Peachy made me some nice rice and fried fish. With mushrooms and everything, mushrooms and tomatoes. She has this nice fish recipe, and we like that very much. In fact, I might ask her to make one for me today again. So yeah, no, I think I ate fish yesterday, so we like that. We like that. And by fish, by the way, we're talking about actual fishes, not Christone Kingfish Ingram, the blues player. Zuhair says, don't know what kind, but my mom ate it, and it was delicious. Add some hot sauce to. Hell yeah. You know what they say about mom's cooking, right? Can't go wrong. That's what they say. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. you know, you're getting some nice meals. I'm glad, you know, you got that going on for you. It's so important, man. I gotta tell you, having good food that you enjoy is really, really important. And because we're like, you know, eating 2-3 meals a day, everybody, we sort of underestimate the importance of that, I think. But the thing is, like, for example, when you chew and when you breathe as you're eating the food, you know how de-stressing that actually is? There's like studies about it. Like, eating is not just you put some food in you to, you know, get your energy going and your nutrients going for you. There's a lot of other physical and psychological needs that get satisfied as we eat. The way we breathe, the way we chew, the physical interaction with the food. So having good food is actually really important. Like, enjoying your food is really important. Especially considering the fact that we eat like 2-3 meals a day. Some people more, some people a little bit less, but you get the idea. Yeah. But I'm glad you had that one going for you. Yeah. Yeah, man, I gotta tell you, like, this whole, like, when you have your mom or, you know, your partner or your wife cooking for you, it's a completely different feeling. It just feels great. It just feels like, you know, it feels nice. You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, like, when I think about it, sometimes I'm like, you know what? If I cooked it myself, I could have cooked exactly to my own specifications, right? But there was a different feeling. There was a different vibe when your mom or your missus puts that food in front of you. Oh boy, it's a different feeling, isn't it? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So it's really precious. It's genuinely precious. I don't care what anybody says. I'll die on that hill. It's just a precious moment, you know. They bring you food. It's just, yeah, beautiful thing. Anyways, one more thing I'll say before, and this is I blame this all on Zuhair. We were talking about guitars, and this man brought in fried fish, and then me being the foodie person I am, I completely lost the plot. So just going back, so going back to the guitars for a second. That was the first release that Gibson did for this. Obviously, you have the Gibson Junior Les Paul, the Special. Now, the only difference really, I'll just share my screen again. The only difference between these two is that the Special one comes with 2 P90s, and the pickup switch is there, like, right under the bridge there, as opposed to being, for example, there, where a Les Paul pickup switch classically is, right? So you have your 2 volume and tone knobs, and the switch is there instead of being there, and that's really the main difference. The one minor aesthetic difference also in the Special Junior Les Paul is that the pick guard is a little wider, is a little bigger than what you have here, right? And in part, I think that has to do with them needing to make space maybe a little more there. I don't know. But it is different. But that's all it is, right? Now, so that was like the first announcement that Gibson did, which was like really interesting. The second one that they did, and it wasn't like an official Gibson announcement. This was something that Cesar Guequian, the Gibson president and CEO, sort of brought up in an interview. So there was this long article on Music Radar, and you guys can have a read if you want to. I'm not gonna, it's a very long article. It's a very long interview. I'm not gonna take you through the whole thing. But for those of you who watched our earlier streams and other videos, you guys know we talked about an SG guitar that Kirk Hammett rocked on Ozzy Osbourne's last show, Back to the Beginning, in England, before he passed away. It was like literally his last show. Kirk Hammett brought this sort of like this sort of, what do they call it? They call it the Moonburst. There we go. This Moonburst looking SG, which was the 4th guitar Cesar Guequian ever made. It's labeled CEO4 on the headstock, on the Trostrad cover, right? And that got a lot of attention and notoriety, right? It really, some discussion started on it. And then since then, Caesar, the CEO of Gibson, has been making different guitars with the exact same moonburst. See the white and the dark gray? That's the moonburst. And there are different guitars basically made with that. And I loved it. I remember Zuhair wasn't that big of a fan of it, but I loved that burst. I just thought it was insane good. Now, the thing that Caesar announced, by the way, that's the CEO 9, so that's the 9th guitar that Caesar has made. Anyways, so the announcement that he kinda did but didn't was that they'll be releasing this burst in their production models. So there'll be more guitars coming out, like actual guitars, not one-off CEO-made guitars, but like actual production models coming out that have the moonburst, and I thought that was amazing. And I thought that is insane. I loved this burst. I thought that was great. And the fact that finally some innovative staining is coming out of Gibson, something nice and new, we like that. Right? And by the way, can I say something? Like, companies like Jackson's been already doing something like this. Right? It's not like it's insanely like innovation or whatever. Like, but Gibson is doing something different, and I like it when everything is not just rinse and repeat. Yeah, so these were like the two big news from Gibson, which I thought it was really, really interesting. Yeah. Give me 1 second. And this is the moment of the stream where I have to address the controversies that I have caused over the past few days. I just need to have a sip of this before I get into it. So give me 1 second. Okay. I would like to address a controversy I might have caused over the past few days. You guys remember that Epiphone Les Paul? Les Paul. You guys remember that Epiphone Okay, I'm gonna start again. This is really getting to me. You guys remember that Epiphone Firebird 1 that I might have spoken a little ill of in our stream, the last stream we had? You guys remember that? Let's see if I can find that that segment so that I can show it to you guys. Because there was this Epiphone Firebird that we talked about. Let me stop the music. And I might have said some not really nice things about it. And they basically became the affordable version of Gibson, and the main factory that produces Epiphone guitars is in China, okay? The 3 guitar has a massive balance issue, and it does do some serious neck dive, and it does. But I knew, and a lot some content creators online that did reviews of this acknowledged, is that if you guys have a look here, I'll make the screen bigger so you guys can see. See how this guitar has 3 strap buttons? 1 strap button here, 1 strap button there, and 1 strap button here. See that? And this is by design. If you put your strap button on the back,
Sorenzo watching a Sorenzo. Yeah.
When you put this guitar on, it's gonna dive towards the neck so hard like there is no tomorrow.
Narcissism at its worst.
If you put your straps on this one and that one, there's absolutely no nosedive. And the reason for that, guys, is that
Narcissism at its worst, and let's be honest, I'm one of those guys that gets an orgasm when I hear my own name, so. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Moving on. Too much information.
This is closer to the neck, basically. Right? So this particular strap button is just a little higher. And that little bit of a difference in positioning changes the torque, changes how the guitar. Now, the second guitar on with a strap. So far.
Oh, there we go. This is the shit talk.
But for have to come.
So basically what I said, long story short, basically what I said is that this guitar is a big slab of wood, and it's hard to play for your right hand, and it has a thick neck, and it has a headstock dive. Like it has a big sort of like a neck dive, right? So I set that on the stream on Thursday after going to a store, physical store, and playing that guitar, right? Well, I bought that guitar yesterday. So let me bring it in. Let me bring that guitar in for a second because yeah, and I completely understand that that my credibility is not really doing well right now. So give me a second. So, this is the guitar. And, look, everything I said about it on Thursday's stream is still accurate, and it still stands. It looks amazing. Oh, no question about it. It looks beautiful. It looks amazing, right? But everything I said about it in our last stream actually stands. So it has a very big neck. As you guys can see, the headstock is huge, and it has the banjo tuners, and the combined weight of these banjo tuners amounts to probably like 20% of the weight of the guitar. Like it's like maybe a little less, around that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the combined weight is about 400 grams, and this is like 4 kilo. 10% of the guitar, 10% of the weight of the guitar, right? Now, because of the big headstock, and because of the weight of these banjo style tuners, which you know, when in the year 63, when these guitars first came out, that's how they were made. Now, look, see what happens. I'm gonna put the strap on this particular button here, and not this button back here. So it has a 2-top strap button. If I put it here, and then I just put it normally back there, look what happens when I put it on. So I'm just gonna go on and put it on here like that. See what happens. See the neck dive? Like, look at that dive. This guitar is not balanced at all. So it's not a well-balanced guitar at all. And when I set it on the stream, that assessment was perfect and accurate, right? Now, you can address that by, you know, putting that strap onto the back button, not the top button there. So if I put it here, right, and then I go and stand up again, hardly any neck dive, right? And that's because it basically changes, you know, the point of contact and how the way that the strap connects to the guitar changes the midline that the guitar is balancing on, so it balances things out for you. I genuinely don't even know why this strap button is still there. Like, why even waste your time with it? Anyways, so that was the first critique I had of the guitar. The second critique I had of the guitar was that the neck is a big, thick, chunky neck, and that's not a surprise, by the way. Right, this guitar was made. This is the exact replica of the guitar made in the 60s, and back in good old days, you know, guitar necks were nice and thick. So not a surprise there. The thing that I was most critical of, and the thing that I didn't hear not one person reviewing it online say about it, because the neck dive, the thick neck, everybody talked about when you watch videos online. The thing that nobody talked about online, to my absolute surprise, was the fact that because you have this big chunk of wood there, see that from the bridge to the bottom, it's huge, right? It's not like your Strat, which is like this much, and then that's the body, that's where it ends. You have this whole thing going on. When you play this guitar seated in a classical position, like this, I'll put it here, right? When you play the guitar seated in a classical position, your right arm approaches from that angle, right? The natural position that you would have in a Strat or a Tele shape or a more common shape of the guitar is your just hand naturally goes down and plays it there. But if I put my hand down here on this guitar right now, I haven't even reached the bridge. So I have to unnaturally extra sort of bring my arm up here to be able to play it. And with fast picking, that's a problem. You can't fast pick easily here. So this basically became my standing guitar. So when I stand, I can easily just move this guitar a little bit more this way and I'm good. And it's comfortable now. Right? If I play it like that in the middle, it's going to be difficult. I have to really pull that arm in. But here, it's nice and comfy. And it goes sort of really well with how the Firebird design generally is, because this neck is ginormous. So some people, like when they play, they're like, oh, I actually have to reach out a lot to get there. So when you move the guitar a little bit more this way, when you're standing, that'll fix the problem. Okay? So that was the thing that I talked trash about this guitar. The thing that I loved about this guitar, and I said the same thing when we were talking about the Les Paul Jr. just now, is that how simple it is. No extra electronics. Simple fixed bridge, which is also wraparound. US custom shop made Gibson pickup. So this pickup is not the Epiphone pickup, it's the Gibson pickup from custom shop, which is mwah. It sounds awesome. And then it's just one volume, one tone, no switch, no hanky-pankies, just simplicity. Beautiful. We love that, right? Especially for somebody like me, because my main guitar is a Washburn N4, the Nuno Bettencourt signature. That one is also very simple. It just has a tone volume knob, no tone knob, but it has a Floyd Rose on it, right? Or Schaller on it in some other model. And so it's not as simple to deal with, whereas this one is just simplicity, and I loved it. So that's that. Great access to high frets, by the way. Very easy, very, very comfy. Awesome shape. I'm going to make some videos out of this that I'm going to just play easier songs, but just maneuver with the guitar, you know? And so, yeah, that's that. So I bought that guitar. Now, I understand that, I got to tell you guys this. I got a really good deal for this guitar. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to talk about the details of it, but the deal that I've got for it was insane good. Insane good. And I thought, and I jokingly in the post that I made on the community tab on YouTube, I said, look, my integrity was priced into the guitar, so the deal was great. And I meant it, you know what I mean? Because I said, look, oh, this guitar is this and this and that, and then this is what happened, right? So I tell you guys why. Because I said all the stuff that I say, and some might ask, well, okay, if you didn't like the guitar that much, why the heck did you go out and buy it? Was it the saving? No, it wasn't the saving. When I went there and played with this guitar on Tuesday, or on Wednesday, I think, for 4 days after that, I could not stop thinking about the guitar and the fact that, am I actually going to be able to play well on a guitar that is not 100% like my style? Like, in terms of, like, playability. Am I going to always just sit down and play with something that is in my comfort zone? Or am I going to actually tame the wild horse? Because, you know, good riders, like great riders, can tame any horse. Good players can play with anything. And I thought, all right, well, maybe let's try something new. I thought, let's just get myself out of the comfort zone and try something new and see how I can actually tame it. See how I can bend it to my will. And then see what I can learn in that journey. So that was the thing. But for 3-4 days, I was like, man, are you gonna like shy away from it? And so I thought, you know what? Let's pick it up. The deal is great anyways. The guitar looks awesome anyways. And frankly, it sounds amazing. It really does. That Gibson custom shop pickup is just insane. It's so clear, the clarity of it, and it sounds so good. You can play gent on this guitar. Like, it's a mini humbucker, so it's like more narrow in its pickup field. So you can literally, this pickup, it sounds great for gent. So that's another interesting thing about it. And one last thing I say about this is that because it's, you know, a fixed wraparound bridge, not much electronics, and then you have a neck through design. So it's a 9-piece maple walnut neck through. So this is all of one piece of wood, and then you have the wings coming from either side. You guys can see the line here, right? This is all just one piece of wood throughout the neck. It has a really good resonance and sustain, so we like that. We like that a lot. And I finished setting it up yesterday. The action is nice and low, no issues there whatsoever. Anywho, I thought I wanted to address this because, yeah, so you guys will see me play this a lot, and I said a lot of stuff about it on the stream, and me buying it doesn't make any sense. So I just thought, you know what, let's talk about it because. Yeah, like for 4 days, I could not stop thinking about this guitar. I was like, I'm like, all right, well, it's not ideal. Pick it up and see how it makes you better. Pick up a new style. Just don't go for a sort of like a super strat that you always go for. Because almost everything I have at home is a super strat, right? Or one variation of super strat. And I'm like, all right, well, Stop doing the same thing over and over. Pick up something new and challenge yourself and see how well you can play with it. Can you play good on this? That's why I bought it. And so we're getting used to each other. We're growing on each other right now. And I just wanted to address that controversy. But I recognize that, yeah, I'm glad my integrity was priced into this guitar. When I said something and then I bought that exact guitar that I said I'm not gonna. All right, let me put this back. Yeah. All right, here we are. So, now, talking about nice guitars, by the way, and Zuhair, this might be of interest to you. I don't know where you sit right now with whether you want to go for a new guitar or not, but for your info and everybody else's, Sweetwater is going now up to 80% on discount all the way to November 30th. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm looking online and the deals look awesome. Some deals look really, really good. Not with these stuff like that goes for like, I don't know, $4,000 or whatever. But you can find some really nice deals here. Now, here's what really got my attention here. Apart from like the 80% discount and all that jazz. And by the way, before we jump to that, guys, one more point I'll add. Bear in mind that from next year, the guitar prices are going to spike. That's my prediction. I made this prediction about a couple of months ago, and I'm standing by it. Everything in the market right now is signaling a bigger yearly price hike next year. And we'll all see about it when we get to NUM. It's 2-3 more months, guys. We get to January, you guys will see exactly what I'm predicting and what I'm talking about. We'll go back to it and talk about it again. Because of tariffs, because of this ongoing wars that are going on that is impacting like oil prices and all that for transport, logistics, because of all the economic issues around the world and all that, the cost of making these guitars and sending them around the world is going higher and higher, and then add the tariffs and everything else to it. So this Black Friday is a good opportunity, I think, to go and get a new piece of gear if that's what you want to do. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. You know, go to your financial advisor for anything. This is not financial advice or advice for you to purchase something or not. I'm just stating my opinions and my observations of what I see on the market, because I literally obsessively monitor the guitar market every day. That's like one of the first things I do every morning because I'm an addict. But just, it's my prediction. Just letting you guys know that comes in NOM 2026, you guys will see a price hike to the cost of these guitars. So if like year by year it goes up like this amount, Next year, it's going to be higher, is what I'm trying to say. So just keep in mind. And it's not just in form of that, and just in the form of price hike, by the way. So, like, you know how Fender has this Squire, and then has the Squire grade Fender? Like, they're just shooting at all these new different models and variations and all that, so that they justify the price hike one way or the other. There's going to be a lot of that going on too. So, anywho, we got onto Sweetwater, the Black Friday stuff that is going on Sweetwater, right? And we came down to the electric guitar section. And this is what I saw. Check this out. So you go to solid body guitars that are most popular right now on the website. And again, yet again, PRS Silver Sky SE is kicking everybody's rear end. Right here. The most popular guitar right now. And it's this color. And then another time again showing up here. PRS SE Silver Sky is kicking everybody's butt. So, and funny enough, in the top 5 most popular guitars that is showing on the site, this is ads, so forget about that. But the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 3 of them are PRSs. Silver Sky, NF53 SE. And then you have the Hello Kitty Squire. And then you have that Les Paul 60 Standard in Burgundy. Which I thought, this is insane. I thought this is just insanity. Silver Sky is going to kill it this year again. And what a good guitar too. And so I thought this would make for a really, really good opportunity to talk about, you know, why is it that the Silver Sky is doing this well? All right. What is it about the Silver Sky that has made it such a popular guitar? You know, so let's talk about it. Obviously, you know, PRS is not the only factory out there that is doing, you know, Strat style or Tele style guitars. Thousands of other guitar building places like luthiers and all that are doing it, right? Why Tele and Strat? Well, there's a few reasons why Tele and Strat are the most popular amongst builders to build, right? But it's not for the reason that you might necessarily always think. Obviously, they're the most popular. Everybody knows this. They're the most popular. The market demand is there, so everybody will go that way. That's one reason. Fine. The second reason, which not everybody mentions, I don't think not everybody knows it, is that with Strat and Tele, especially the Telecaster, right? But Strat and Tele both, especially with Telecaster, one main factor in the building of these guitars, one very important consideration when Leo Fender was designing and making these things, was simplicity in production and manufacturing, simplicity, ease, and cheapness in maintenance, and also in fixing. Right? Simple, easy, cheap. That's the reason why, for example, I'll just give you guys one point of contact. And that is why the neck on a Tele or a Strat is screwed to the body. It's a bolt-on neck, not a set neck, which, you know, your neck is glued to the body, or is neck through, which the neck, you know, just like the guitar that I just showed you guys, the pink one, right? It's screwed to the body, bolt-on. Well, and that makes things massively more simple, right? So as an example, let's just say your guitar neck breaks, right? If it is a set neck or glued neck or neck through, you have to cut the neck body joint correctly, fix the surface of it, bring a new neck, glue it to the body, wait for a day, wait for another day, Then go back, start shaving and sanding the neck body joint. Make sure it's all like angled properly, and and by the way, you can mess that job up, right? So if you like glue it with an angle, glue it this way or that way, you're screwed. You got to do it again, right? Because that's like, it's a problem, right? You can't have a non-straight neck. If the neck body joint is too thick, if the nut to bridge distance is not perfect, your guitar is going to have intonation issue. So you have to cut it properly, not too much, not too little. And then when it's glued together, it has to be perfect, right? Then you have to go in, you have to shave the extra residues of glue or whatever not when it's all dried. You have to make that smooth. You have to sand it. Then you have to finish it. And then you have to wait a day, and then you have to go back and do another layer of finish. You know what I mean? It's just fixing a broken neck on a set neck or a neck through guitar is not an easy task to do, right? It's not something you can do at home. It's luthiers can do it, but it takes a lot of time. It takes days. But when you have a screwed neck, when you have a bolt-on neck, just buy a neck, 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're good. See what I'm saying? So, bolt-on necks simplified the process of manufacturing, but also the process of maintenance and fixing. Simplicity in these 3 things was a key consideration when Leo Fender was designing the Tele and the Strat. Okay? So, the second reason why, and not everybody knows or talks about this, the second reason why Teles and Strats are so popular, first was the popularity amongst the buyers, the market demand. The second reason why is that they're easier to make, they're easier to maintain, they're easier to fix. Luthiers love that. That's the second reason why everybody makes Strats and Teles. The third reason why is the fact that with popular designs, there is an abundance of cheap parts in the market that you need to buy in order to make your guitar. So, for example, I'll give you guys a very simple example. Let's just say you bought some timber, you bought some slabs of wood, and you want to make your guitar at home. You want to do a DUO, do your own guitar, right? So you come in, you cut the body, you cut the neck, you sand, you prepare the neck and whatever not. Now, you're going to need some frets, nickel silver frets, for example. You're not going to make that fret at home. You're going to have to buy it from somewhere, right? You're going to need a truss rod. You can make it at home, but it's going to take a lot of hours to learn it and then to do it right. And you got to spend a lot of money on the tools you need to be able to make a truss rod at home. It's just so much easier to buy it. Tuning keys. Again, can you make it at home? Yeah, with the right equipment and training, and it takes years to learn it and master it. So you can make a crappy, expensive tuning key at home, or you can buy a set of 6 that are made by a really good builder, like whoever manufactures it, for like $50. Right? So you have to buy a lot of material there to build that guitar. The third reason why a lot of people go for Fender, Teles, and Strat shape guitars is because all these parts are so readily available. So luthiers love that. I can just get a Fender style tuning key and bridge and truss rod online cheaply because everybody does it. It's cheaper, it's better, and those companies have years of experience making them, so they are good at what they do, as opposed to somebody just starting from the scratch. That's the third reason why luthiers love making Strat and Tele shaped guitars. Yeah. Right? And so this is the thing, right? And then last reason why, and this is where I think PRS comes in. And this is one of the reasons why, going back to Silver Sky now, this is the reason why PRS, like companies like PRS do it. The fourth reason now is that there are some companies and builders that they believe they can do it better than Fender. And because these guitars are popular, if you can get that popular guitar, make it better, but don't make the price tag too much more than what Fender, for example, already has, then you're going to take a lot of market share. And this was key in the success of the Silver Sky. Right? Now, thing is, PRS already got their own style of bridge. They don't need Fender's bridge. They already produced their own frets, right? They already got their own tuning keys and their own headstock and their own truss rods. All of those were already readily available. What they've done, though, with precision in cutting of the nut, with precision in other details about building the guitar, they made a guitar that has a better tuning stability. They made a guitar that, honestly, in my humble opinion, sounds way better. Like 3 years went to the R&D of the pickup of Silver Sky, John Mayer's pickup. Right? I think those guitars sounds better than any Strat I've ever heard. I'll take an SE Silver Sky over an actual 60s Fender. It genuinely sounds better to me, in all sincerity. So you get the popular design, and now you improve on it, and then don't make the price tag like too hefty comparing to the other, like the original Fender, for example. You're gonna win. The combination of four is, I think, these four reasons, I think, are the reasons why this guitar became the winner. Since it came out in 2022, I think, 22, 23. And it's been dominating the market ever since. Year after year, it's been the most sold electric guitar. And it clearly, in this Black Friday, it is again. You can see it, it's on the website. In the top 5, there's 2 Silver Sky SEs. Like, what more do you want? You know what I mean? Zuhair says, that's nice to know. I'm considering getting a Fender Strat soon. Had one, but sold it some years ago. Silver Sky comes with a humbucker too? Question mark. If so, might get one instead of a Strat. No, Silver Skies are only coming with single coils. So no humbuckers on the Silver Sky. So what are you going for a what are you going for? Like, what is it that you're considering? Which Fender Strat are you going for that comes with humbuckers? PRS, you suck, says Zuhair. Fair enough, dude. Player Strat? Okay. Fender Player Strat. Let's have a look. Like something like this? Like that, maybe? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a great guitar, dude. It's a really good guitar. I don't think I played with the one with the humbucker, but I was in a store a while ago. One of my many trips to my local guitar stores, and I picked up one and played. I don't think that one was the one with the humbucker. I think I played with something that was more like this. Or this, maybe. I don't remember. But it felt good. I liked it. Like, I didn't mind the guitar at all. It's like your old school, like it's Fender. Like, you're good with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if that's what works for you, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. But yeah, I thought to have that sort of discussion there because the thing is, and anything, there was a saying from Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner in Berkshire Hathaway. There was a quote that Charlie Munger has, which I'm fascinated with that quote. Like, it's so simple, it makes perfect sense, but it's so profound. That is, anything Lollapalooza is the result of a confluence of different factors. Anything that is wow, big, insane, right? It happens because of multiple different reasons, not just one. And so if someone explain I'll say it again. So if someone explains something that is so big, that is so massive, so disruptive, by just one reason, they're trying to explain it from just like one reason's point of view, they're oversimplifying the issue, and as such, not providing an accurate and a full picture. Right? And I thought that's a really good quote. That's one of my favorite quotes. I really like it because it makes you sit down and think about different issues, right? Now, on the stream, we talk about guitars, right? This is the guitar stream. But every other issue that you see, like, I don't know, news, politics, entertainment, whatever that it is out there, when there is a bang, when there's a disruption, when there's a massive success, that is a confluence of different factors coming in and making it happen. So it can't be explained by just one thing. And if someone comes on and says, all right, this is just it, they're oversimplifying an issue. And as such, they're not providing an accurate reason of why this is happening. The reason this guitar became such a success is not just PRS doing great, which they are. They're masters of their craft. It's not because that Strat and Tele are popular among the players only. It's also because the economics of scale, cheaper, readily available parts, the design of the Tele and Strat inherently being simple, all those reasons together. So yeah. Yeah. So tell me, Zuhair, what do you like about this guitar? And by the way, I'm not I'm not commenting on the guitar. Genuinely, like, you as a buyer, what is it about this guitar that pulled you in for it? And by the way, can I say something? It does not necessarily have to make sense. That answer that you or any person that is watching right now that you might have in your mind, you want to buy a new guitar and you like it, right? What I'm asking is, why do you like that guitar and why are you interested in buying it? But your answer shouldn't make sense at all. I talked about a guitar. I said I don't like that guitar 4 days ago. I bought it yesterday. Okay? Buying is an emotional thing. It doesn't have anything to do with logic. So be unapologetic. I'm unapologetic. So I'm shamelessly looking at you in the eyes and say, yeah, I bought it. Right? So it's okay if it doesn't make any sense, because my purchases don't make sense either. Zuhair answered, always like the shape and how it feels when I sit with it, with the body thickness and width. Plus, I like fender colors. Ah, fair enough. That's a great reason. That's a great reason why. Okay, we love that. And let's be honest, that burst is beautiful. I could not agree with you more. It's a good burst. Let's have a look at other colors. So out of these, what color would you go for? You got the blue ones are sold out. Boy, this looks good with the maple. Aquatone blue. You have the Burke green. Then you have the old school, good old black and white. Nothing new there. We have the coral red. And then you have the antique white. Oh, they call it the Hyalia. How do you pronounce this word? Hyalia yellow. I honestly think that burst looked awesome. I really like this. Zuhair says, conversely, multiple times I thought I wanted a Les Paul, and I went to Guitar Center, and I never like how Epiphone or Gibson Les Paul feel when I sit with them. Body feels weird, maybe the angled thingy. Could be the angled thingy, but also I think part of it is the boxiness of Les Pauls, right? The curvature on top of a Les Paul, like, I'll show you. Give me a second. Right. It's this. Les Pauls don't have any bevels there. They don't have any sort of like cuts and curves in there that accommodates for your right arm coming in. So yeah, you're right. It might have this 3-4 degree angle here and there, and that might, you know, amount to something. But just the fact that it doesn't have that. Yeah, that's right, right? Yeah, exactly. So, so what happens then, when you sit down and play with a Les Paul, is that tapering off. Exactly, you're right. That's exactly right. Whereas if you look at the, when you look at this, you already got that tapering thing going on here. It just makes the guitar insanely more comfortable. I'm surprised not every guitar has it. Like the fact that we still got boxy guitars, and but Telecasters, some Telecasters are like that too, right? It's not just Gibson, right? So, but the fact that not every guitar has it blows my mind. I have no idea why. Makes a massive difference in the playing experience. How? How is it? There are some styles like V-shaped, like Firebirds, like Explorer, that the body is completely different and your arm approaches the guitar from, like, there's nothing in there as your arm approaches the guitar, right? But for a Strat and Tele-shaped guitar or their derivative, the fact that not all guitars got some sort of a tapering like that just blows my mind. Yeah. So. Yeah, completely agree with you. We are on the same page on this. So yeah, there's, yeah, man, the deals are pretty insane this time of the year. Go electric guitars. And then what I want to do is to go from best deals. What do we have? What do we have for best deals? And where can we find a Fender for Zuhair that has humbuckers in it? So you want a humbucker single coil? Or like humbucker would do it too? What do you want on the neck side? And do you want anything in the middle? Because I don't know. It's like it's a preference thing. I personally don't like middle pickups. Happy with either? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's see. Look at that. That's a weird one. Humbucker on the neck and then single coil. I don't like it. Don't get that one. Unnecessarily expensive too. Get out of here. I think we got to go back to the other page. Hold on. Let me go back, guys. Let me go back. Hold on. Zuhair says, I never used middle pickups or the tone knob in my 16 years of guitaring. Yeah, that's neither have I. Tone knob, like minimally, I might have used it occasionally, like 5% of the time. But middle pickup, no, man, it's just annoying. It's a very annoying thing. And more often than not, it's just raised too high for it to sound well. But then that means it's just going to be in the way of your picking. It's just so annoying. I don't like it at all. Okay. All right, hold on. We want, do we have like a, we want that. And we want, well, look, if you want humbucker in the bridge and you don't want a single coil in the middle, then it seems to me that the options you've got is just humbucker. Do we have humbucker single coil? What do we have here? No. So the HS ones also seem to be, yeah. Zuhair asked, remember that Sire Larry Carlton S3 or S7 guitar I showed you long ago? I remember the name. I can't imagine it right now. Let's find it again. Right. Okay. Hold on. Yes, I remember we talked about it. We talked about it, I think, on some stream. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we were looking at some Amazon guitars, and then you brought this up, and we looked at it. Is that the one you're going for? Do they have it on Sweetwater? Right, okay. Dang, okay. Well, there you go. Are there any Strats, though? Because these are like Teles and Les Pauls. And then... Okay, they got the headless, too. Okay. There we go. That's your S7. And then S3, maybe? Let's pick up an S3 as well. S7. Look at that finish. We'll look at it later. There was no S7 here, dude. The S3 here, so that's the S7. Wow, whoa, hey-ho. Holy glitter. Yeah, nice. Okay. Zuhair says, forget me for now. Are you getting a new guitar this deal season? I just got one yesterday. How many more guitars do you want me to buy? I literally just bought one yesterday. Do you want me to buy 2 guitars in the holiday season? In this time of the year? That pink guitar I showed you, that Epiphone Firebird custom shop. That was what I bought yesterday. Yeah. I thought that Epiphone was a joke purchase and you'd return it. No, it's serious. It's not a joke. It's very seriously purchased and it's very seriously mine now. Yeah, no, it was serious. I wasn't joking. I bought that guitar. For 4 days, I talked trash about it on the stream and with my friends, with my close friends. We were having a chat about it. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I went and bought it. And the worst part of it all, I gotta tell you, the worst part of it all wasn't to admit that, oh, I was wrong about it or anything. The worst, when I'm wrong, I'll happily admit it. And I think I was a bit too harsh with this guitar, so I was wrong. But the worst part was me giving my bro, one of my guys, the opportunity to say, I told you so. That really stung. Right? That was really Now, we all have to make sacrifices, and that was the sacrifice I had to make. All right. But yeah, that's what actually went down. I wasn't joking about the story. Everything I told you was factual. Ay. Good times, man. Good times. You know what? Let's get to the favorite part of my stream. Let's get to the favorite part, because this is always my favorite part. Guys, just gonna drink this to your health. From watching from YouTube or Twitch, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Like, I'm laughing. I'm loving these moments. Talking about guitars, chatting to you guys, Zuhair, Dorotio, Shaolin, others. You guys are just a lot of fun, so thank you so much. Let me crack this open. This is green tea, as always. And yeah, thank you for hanging out. This is to your health. Hee-haw. We like that. We like green tea. Zuhair says, yeah, me too. Firm handshakes, bro. Love you. So, now, Listen, as a guitar buying addict, and I sold, I think, I sold 3 guitars this year. If I'm 3 or 4. 4 guitars. I sold 4 guitars this year. And I bought just one. So I might buy another one. We'll see. I might actually buy that ML3 that I've been yapping about on the stream. The Chapman. So I might, if the price of it comes down as we get closer to November 30th, I might consider it. I'm not paying $900 for it, but if it's like down to 600 or 5, I might consider. So we'll see. I'm monitoring it. So yeah. Nevertheless, man, shall we jump to the next item on the docket? Let us jump to the next item on the docket. That is Johnny Marr's guitars. But before I get to that, there was this one article I read. It's like a miscellaneous, completely out of topic article that maybe we could have a chat about first before we go to Johnny Marr's. This is an article, an interview from Nuno Bettencourt. And I thought that was a really interesting take on what he said. So check this out. He said, this is what's really going to separate you from every other guitar player. According to Nuno, the reason nobody did it after Van Halen is because it's not that easy. So what was it? Because he says that's the first thing I always say when a guitar player comes in mind and asking for advice. Nuno argued that being in the pocket when playing rhythm is what sets some guitarists apart, noting how the late and great Eddie Van Halen had an immaculate sense of rhythm. And that's a really important thing he brought up. The reason I thought we should talk about this is because in the Instagram and YouTube Shorts and TikTok age, the thing that gets the likes and clicks is fast shreds. It's fast shreds or super technical stuff like what Marcin or Tim Henson are doing, right? Those are the stuff that usually get eyeballs. Rhythm doesn't as much, nowhere near as much in my experience. And I'm sure most people's experience on this is the same, right? And so because of that, there's not like guitar players, especially those who are a little bit more serious in their hobby or their pros, they sort of don't do rhythm as much. Everyone's sort of moving into shred again, right? But it's a very important skill to have to be able to play good rhythm. It's very, very important because it's part of the songs that we play after all, right? Eddie Van Halen now was a great rhythm player. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but he was also a good drum player. From if I'm not wrong, I could be wrong, but if I'm not, I'm almost 100% sure he was a very good drum player himself too. So he had a really good sense of rhythm. And so when Nuno says, "Oh, he was in the pocket when he was playing rhythm," yeah, it's the guy knew his rhythm and he knew his guitars too well. So yeah. So the article continues, even today, long after overextended solos and gratuitous displays of virtuosity. What's up with these difficult words? Just say crazy displays of good guitar playing. Why can't we just have normal words in these articles? Like, unbelievable. Unbelievable, these guys. Anyways, even today, long after overextended solos and crazy displays of great guitar playing stopped being the norm, lead guitarists most often tend to steal the audience's attention from their rhythm playing colleague. At the same time, rhythm playing, regardless of whether there is a dedicated musician in the band for it or not, is an integral part of any rock experience, as great riffs and grooves often tend to be just as memorable as sleazing hot solos. By the way, one thing I'll add, it shouldn't be one or the other, right? Like Eddie Van Halen. You can be a superb rhythm player and a superb solo player. So, just putting it out there. Don't think in limitations. Don't think in, like, you know what I mean? Think broad. As the Mexicans say, ¿por qué no los dos? Why not both? Right? Moreover, many professional guitarists would advise not to underestimate rhythm guitar, yada yada. So I thought this was really interesting because, again, how well you rhythm is important. And I noticed in my own behavior when I'm practicing, more often than not, the metronome is on when I'm practicing solos or arpeggios or scales, anything that is more resembling solo playing. That's when my metronome is on, and that's where my focus always is. And I thought, you know what? I read it and I'm like, I'm going to start incorporating some rhythm playing, like dedicated training session with metronome and everything. Just trying to, you know what I mean? Sharpen the tool a little bit. Because I don't want to be a one-dimensional player. And I thought that was really interesting. To bring it up before we go to the next item on the docket. Boy, I have this allergy and it's killing me. My nose is so itchy. So with that said, let us jump to the next item on the docket. Johnny Marr insists his latest $3,000 signature guitar is not a vanity project. I read this and I was like, this is hilarious because you know what it's like, man? Whenever a guitar becomes expensive, it becomes a vanity project. Whenever a guitar becomes expensive, it becomes a dentist and doctors and somehow gets a bad rep. And I have a problem with that mentality. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Right? Because you see all these guitars there and there's a bunch of them stacked outside there. You guys can't see it. Maybe I can show you. Hold on. Actually, maybe I can show it to you. So have a look. See that? Those are all guitars. And there's more that it's not here. Right? So yeah, I got these now. But what you guys have not seen is just a few years ago when I was dirt broke. Completely broke. Mrs. Peachy and I used to live in a tiny student accommodation that the size of the whole thing, the whole shoebox, was not really bigger than my workroom, my guitar room here right now. Okay? When I say dirt broke, I mean dirt broke. I used to be dirt broke. Then what happened was, one day, because I was always into guitars, but I had to sell my guitar at that time because I needed the money. Right? Some years in, Mrs. Peachy and I lived together in that shoebox, and Mrs. Peachy was with me through the ups and downs of it, man. She was with me through the ups and downs of life. We've been together for like almost 9 years now. This woman is a gem, by the way. But for my birthday, given the fact that I loved electric guitars so much, she pushed me to scrap up some money and buy a guitar. The best I can do at that time, in that summer, was my birthday, was to scrap up $150 to buy a third-hand Samick and a cheap old amp and cable and everything else, all for 150 Australian dollars. So that's about 100 US dollars, guys. Third-hand guitar. One of its pickups wasn't working, and the amp, one of the channels in the amp wasn't working properly either. And when I went there and bought it, the guy was just trying to just clean his garage. He was just like, all right, dude, here's this guitar and amp for 150. Here, I got some extra cables. Here's some extra straps. Here's some picks that I'm going to throw in the trash. Take it. I bought all of that for 100 US dollars. They were like third hand. Samick, like a cheap guitar. Because that's the best I could afford. And then when I came back from the guy, so it was a local pickup, I did an Uber because I didn't have the money. I sat in a bus. Took me 2 hours to get home. because I was so money conscious about it. Like, I was broke. So we're asked, how long ago was this? This was in 2020? 2020-ish, around that time. So 5 years ago, not long ago. Dirt broke. Right? So when I tell you guys that I understand the anger and the disappointment when you really want a good guitar and you go to a guitar store and you can't afford it and you window shop, when I tell you I know how it feels, you know I'm telling you the truth. I've lived it. Not just through that, when I was younger, I wanted to have a guitar. Like, people buy their kids guitars and take them to music lessons. I didn't have that childhood either, right? I didn't have a normal childhood by any means, like a healthy, normal child. I left home at 17. I'll just say that much, right? So when I tell you I know how yucky it is to see a guitar that you like and some other person can't afford and you can't, I get that feeling because I lived it. I'm telling you the truth. But, very importantly, what I also don't appreciate is the fact that if somebody can't afford something, they start hating on that and the guitar. PRS being one of it, you know, this artist has to come in and say, all right, I swear to God, this is the $3,000 signature guitar I have is not a vanity project. Like, you know what I mean? This whole hating on it is also a problem. Because, you know, if you can't afford a guitar, work hard, plan well, don't just push hard in the right direction, play your cards well, your life will change. My life changed. I'm the living, breathing example of an immigrant going to a country, starting from the scratch, dirt broke, meeting the woman of his life, moving to a student accommodation because we couldn't live in a share house together, right? We share with different people. A shoebox that the whole thing was as big as my workroom now, right? We didn't have our own laundry. It was shared laundry. You guys get the idea. Anyone who lived a humble sort of a start to life, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. 5 years ago. In 5 years, it changed significantly. I'm the living, breathing example of that. So, next time when you go to a guitar store and you see the guitar with a high price tag and you love it but you can't buy it, don't get angry. Don't get upset at the guitar or people who can't afford it. Come back home to the drawing board and see what you can do better. And you can turn things around. I turned things around. From wanting to play the guitar as a kid, not being able to get, you know, asking too much and getting some of these when I was a kid, leaving home 17, coming here, buying a guitar, having to sell it because I needed the money to pay freaking rent. Sometime later, scrap $100 to buy a third-hand guitar and amp that the pickup wasn't working to now this. It's possible. Okay? I'm just going to put it out there. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to be lightheaded and fun on the stream and take things easy and groove. This one really hits hard. Like, this one really hits home for me. So I thought, let us have this real talk for a second. Because it's a subject that I'm so sensitive about it because I lived it. I've lived through the difficulty of it. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to have it go or anything like. Love you guys, right? I'm saying it to help. But just know that I know how it feels like because it takes one to know one. Okay? Zuair says, this is so relatable, not having money. Glad to hear about this. Glad you got money now. And I'm like, I'm not even stinky rich. But I'm like, I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm happy. I'm in a good place. And I'm still doing my best to push forward and make it even better and better. Because that's what the purpose of life is, us becoming better as human beings, right? One way or the other. But at least I get to do the things that I love. And that's a big bonus. Zora says, so wait, from being broke, you got a good job and turned things around? From being broke, I started to work really hard. Then I got a really good job. Then in parallel, I started my own dance school. So that was my business, and I worked 80 hours a week. And then I turned things around. So yeah, I found a better job because I got more skilled, so I could get better jobs. And in parallel, I opened my own business, my own dance school. 80 hours a week grind every day, working every single day for months and months on end. For then COVID-19 kicking in and Melbourne, Australia going through the worst, like the most toughest lockdowns in the world. And then I lost both of them, the business and the job, and then I rebuilt again. Yeah. Zohair said, at what point did you move from your parents? When I was 17. 17, 18. Late 17, early 18. But I think 17. When you found a better job, that's a slightly different story. Let me not get into that. That's not really guitar related. Okay? Mostly because it's not fun for me to talk about it. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for sharing the story. Inspiring. Yeah, anytime, bro. But what I'm trying to say is, because I saw this title, and like every time people go on and say, oh, like vanity project, you know, like $3,000. Who needs a $4,000 guitar? You know, like it's for dentists and lawyers and you know, who like whatever. Tonewood is fake. You can just buy a $500 guitar. Fine, I get it. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is that some people actually believe that. Some people actually believe that that is the case, and they say what they believe, and that's completely fine. Some people don't believe that, but they don't like it that they can afford something more expensive, so they jump on that bandwagon. I'm just saying that if you're the second type of person you're watching this, you can turn things around. So instead of spending your energy hating on something and being angry about something and trying to punish somebody that is doing better than you one way or the other, put the focus back on yourself. And if in 2-3 years, like 5 years, it took me too long. I didn't do a good enough job. You can turn things around in 1 year. Like, the only reason it took me 5 years is because I suck at it. Like, you know what I mean? So, that's the thing. Anyways, so Johnny Marr has this limited edition $3,000 signature guitar, right? And I thought it's a very, very, very interesting Jaguar. Because you guys know, like Johnny Marr and Jaguar, right? So let's talk about it. Guys, this is changed to 5,500 in Australian dollars, so it's still 3,000 US, for those who are wondering why the price was changed suddenly. So, it has a custom Johnny Marr neck shape. It has a 9.5-inch radius rosewood fretboard. A little too round for our taste, but that's okay. Custom wound Kent Armstrong Johnny Marr single coil pickups. So that's interesting. You have the, Jaguar bridge with Mustang saddles. There we go. And vintage style floating tremolo. Let's have a listen to how this guitar sounds like for a second. So I'm going to stop the music, rock and roll.
Right now, I'm playing this, which is my new signature special. As I hope guitar music is evolving, I'm interested in that, and I would like for my guitar to contribute to that. If people buy my guitars, I want them to do a really good job for everybody. So much like I put the bigger neck on my signature one for my guitar playing brothers and sisters, that is the same kind of logic that I'm doing with this.
That's so British. Let me sound a little quiet and posh like that and have a really great accent, okay? No.
Including the pickups, it isn't just to make it look pretty, which it really does. I always, for some reason, think about indie bands in Brighton and indie bands in Edinburgh and indie bands in Liverpool and Manchester and just all around the country, and genuinely try and imagine my guitar in people's rehearsal rooms. because I feel like they're sort of kind of my people, really. You know, I'm not talking about my fans, but the culture that I come from. Significant
Play a
moment.
little more.
But
Talk less, play more.
The thing about the signature, when it all came together, it was a process of experimentation with the pickups, trying out different bare knuckle pickups. So what happened there was I went through a bunch of different Jags live all the time and really checking out the sound of it, getting really nerdy about the different, what I wanted from the sort of pickup.
That's one of the reasons why, if you want to do a clean job developing a new pickup or basically having a signature guitar, that's one of the reasons it takes a lot of time, because it's important that you give that instrument to the artist for them to tour with it. You never know how good a guitar is until you take it around and spend a lot of time with it. So
until I was pretty sure of it. And then we're experimenting with bit by bit with the shape of the guitar. So all through the early gigs I was doing with the Cribs, 2009, 2010, all that period of shows, my guitar was changing and changing. I've been given a really unusual, quite chunky neck by Jay Rosen in San Francisco, just the neck. And then that was the one that I bolted on. So it was starting to come together. When I went out on my first solo tour, The Messenger, I was playing all different kinds of my own repertoire. I had all the new material, of course, but we were doing a couple of different electronic songs, Forbidden City, Getting Away With It.
okay, can we hear more playing, or are you just gonna keep talking?
In the colour complete, but the same one.
Play more, talk less.
Who likes the sound?
All right, let's go back to the beginning of it. This is the sound I was hoping this guy plays again, but clearly he didn't.
Right now, I'm playing.
but clearly not. But yeah, you guys get the idea, right? It's a Jaguar, like it's sounding as it kind of should, you know, old schoolish, whatever. I don't know. I found I found the tone of this guitar like too not there, like. You know when you like increase your reverb too much, like when you make the sound too wet, it's not there anymore. It's in the distant. It's not in your face. It's not close. I don't like that sound so much. Like I like my sound to be like raw and up close, like it's there in my ear. And it feels like the pickups on this guitar, it just feels like it's not dry and there in your face. So that was like the thing I had with this guitar. But I think it's interesting, like this whole idea of like complex electronics like this. I mean, look at that. You got all these little knobs and 3 pickups, and you got your floating bridge, and you got whatever, you know, all that stuff going on. Like there are some simpler Jaguars that look insane, and they sound insane, by the way, right? Zuhair says that leftmost Jag is my fave. Which leftmost? Where did you see it? This? It's the same guitar, right? In the video. Right. Sorry. Which one was it?
The thing about
this one. The one with the Canadian leaves on it? Maple leaves? Is that the one you're talking about? The one with Canada. Yeah, okay. Hell yeah, okay. Right. I hear you. Here's like it's all nice and well. Like I like the design of it too. Like Jaguars look a lot more sleek when they're simple. Like they look insane. You guys remember that Aristides STC model for Mike Stringer that I showed you guys? This one. Aristides Mark Stringer. There you go. This. I really dig that Jaguar-inspired look. See how simple and nice it is? How sleek it is? And this is the back of it, by the way. So, it's like a matte thingy there with all the electronics and everything. But that guitar is like... I really got that. Like, dig that look. It's just so simple, so sleek, and so stealthy. I like that.
Zoer says, I gotta go. Wanna game a bit, then do life things. Fair enough, brother. Enjoy your gaming. Enjoy your life things. I'll catch you around. Take care of yourself. Good to see you. So yeah, I really like simple Jaguar, sort of like sleek, simplified Jaguars. Let's see if there's any nice like Jaguars in here. Fender Jaguar. I wonder whether there's like some nice, simple, easy Jaguars that we can have a look on. Let's see. Like, see, even like Fender. Like, look at this one, for example. Look at this one. Ooh, I love this. Look at that. Without all that extra mumbo jumbo up there, just simple. This is still old school, but it's simple. We like that. Zara says, be safe. You too, brother. Take care. Right? It's just like so good. Let's find more. Yeah, look at that. Oof. Oof. Imagine if this bridge was not an old school one and like this was just like didn't have like didn't have the pick guard. It just like was routed from behind and everything was just nice and simple at the top here. Oh, that would have been awesome. Yeah. But you know, Jaguar is a Jaguar, I guess so. Cannot complain. Cannot complain. But yeah, I thought like it's an interesting guitar, but I just don't like the overcomplication of electronics at all. I don't like the overcomplication of electronics at all. It takes like it takes the clarity of sound away for sure, because you're increasing, you know, capacitance and inductions. It's just going to take the clarity away. All that extra mumbo jumbo and wiring, and it's just, I don't know. Some people like it. It's just not my cup of tea, I would say. Nevertheless, I just realized that the music is too loud. Sorry. I just realized that the music was too loud when I was talking. Is that better now? Sorry, guys. My bad. I raised the volume so I can talk about, so we can hear the hear Johnny Marr talking about the guitar, and then I forgot that it was already too loud. So sorry about that. All right, we're gonna talk about one little miscellaneous thing, and then we're gonna call it a day. Because I thought I am a guitar hoarding maniac, and there's a lot of guitar hoarding maniacs out there. But I am a guitar buying freak and addict. And so is Joe Bonamassa. I like to call him Joe Bassanova, but he's Joe Bonamassa, okay? And this man screwed over this good-looking lady a little bit. And Joe is a nice guy, but he kind of did the unthinkable to somebody that looks this good too. I mean, if she didn't look that good, maybe. I'm kidding. That was a little too far, but you get the idea. Okay, so check this out. So you have Joanne Shaw Taylor, who saw a guitar she liked, and then Joe took that guitar from her, basically, is the story. So I said, I don't have $5,000. And Joe said, they'll want a photo of me, but I could probably get it for you for $4,000. Joe Bonamassa helped Joanne Shaw Taylor buy an Albert Collins Telecaster and then kept it for himself. Which is dirty. If you ask me, that's dirty playing. So things were eventually set right by Bonamassa's dad, though. So the guy's dad had to, the dad had to make sure he acts right, and that's why parenting is so important. That's why having a dad is very important, because, you know, they will teach you manners. We like that. Len must have phoned him and read him the riot act, because I got a text the next day saying, remind me your address.
So, what a story. So what happens, for those who don't know, by the way, Joe Bonamassa is a superb guitar player, very, very accomplished blues player too. And he is a collector, a gigantic collector of electric guitars, especially Gibson Les Pauls, being his favorites. Now, what happened was, Joanne and JoBo were touring together at some point. They went to New York. She was in New York, and so what happened was, she went to a store and she saw this Albert Collins signature Telecaster model that was signed by Albert. So that's the guitar, by the way. Let me find it for you. Oops. This is the guitar. For those who are wondering, that's the guitar we're talking about. So it's the same one she's playing here. Right? So that was the guitar that was signed by Albert himself. The price tag was $5,000. And then so JoBo comes in and goes like, you know what? I can help you with that. Because she basically calls JoBo and says, look, it's $5,000. I don't have $5,000. The best I can do is $4,000. And so JoBo goes like, you know what? That's fine. I'll go to that store with you to buy it. They'll probably want a photo with me. You know, because whenever an artist comes in, you take photos, and that's a massive marketing thing for any guitar store, right? So they're like, they'll probably want a photo with me. That doesn't cost them anything, just a photo. And so I think I can get it for $4,000. And he does that, by the way. So he goes there, asks how much. The guy goes, okay, $4,000 and a picture of you buying it. So we did the deal. And then he kept the guitar for himself. Now, the guitar remained under the custodianship of Bonamassa for about a year, Taylor says, until she informed his father, Len, who set out to make things right. About a year or so later, I talked to his dad and mentioned this, and Len was furious. She says, so Len must have phoned him and read him the riot act because I got a text the next day saying, remind me of your address. And then this was delivered in post. Here's the thing though, as funny as it is, and I understand that JoBo loves his guitars, the man has thousands of guitars, literally hundreds if not thousands, and take it from a guy that has, I don't know how many guitars I have now, 10, 12? Take it from a guy that has more than 10 guitars and has had more. At some point you realize that you can't play all of them, right? So there will be ones that you play more regularly, and there will be ones that you don't play as often, but you still go and play them once in a while, right? After a certain point, it becomes more and more diluted. You know, you know what you like, you know what works for your body and what doesn't, so you'll have your favorite guitars. For the man to be a Les Paul connoisseur of this kind, that he is. He's one of the biggest Les Paul connoisseurs in the world, right? Collectioners too. And, you know, try to offer to help somebody out and then screw him like that just because you love the guitar so much. And he's like he didn't have to help her out, right? He didn't have to go in and like offer to buy that one for her for $4. But the fact that he said it and that I'll help you and then didn't is what I have problems with. Like, man, you have all the guitars in the world. You could have gone there, and that would have meant a lot to her. For somebody that doesn't even have $4,000 as a professional artist, and JoBo is a multimillionaire. So I thought that was a funny, dirty play that JoBo did. Which reminds me, honestly, you know, guitar acquisition syndrome can go out of hand and can make you act crazy. You know, my crazy is buying the guitar that I say I'm not going to buy, but I haven't lost my mind as much yet to screw my friends over a guitar. But, you know, it's just like, it can get bad, folks. This whole guitar acquisition syndrome can go out of hand if you don't put it in check. It really can. Anywho, let's leave it on that note. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
I had a great time. Not a good time. I had a great time talking to you guys and chatting about guitars and everything else. So, appreciate you guys showing up. If you haven't liked the stream, please do. It helps it spread like wildfire. You can hype the video as well. If you haven't tried hyping, try hyping. You can hype the videos, and if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video on the next stream. Mwah! Guys, take a good care of yourself. I'll see you later. Ooh. Oh, baby. See you later.